I grew up spending a lot of time on the coast, and I've tried to leave many a time, but keep finding myself coming back. And I do think that's due to its proximity to a stunning coastline, how clean it is, and how much we do try and respect it here. And I think it's a massive part of our culture.
Being Māori, the ocean, our moana, plays a big part in our identity, and it connects us all to the outer islands of the Pacific. Even though it's the biggest ocean in the world, it's the connection that keeps us tight through wayfinding, voyaging, and storytelling.
Like, we're surrounded by water everywhere you go, rivers, lakes, sea, it's all connected. The ocean is like an ancestor, so it's just important to everyone. It sustains life, it's just like everything.
As a Pacific Islander, our culture is deeply rooted in the ocean, so I feel really a really strong connection to the ocean, and also being born in Polynesia, surrounded by the largest body of water, kind of creates a really deep connection. For this project, I was paired with an expert in ōpihi or limpets. My mural focuses on just an intersection of culture and science and art. So ōpihi is a really important sea creature for Hawaii culture, and I wanted this mural to be sort of like a connection from island to island, bringing the gift of ōpihi and the idea of sustainability to our cousins over here in Aotearoa.
This mural depicts the idea of a traditional Māori method of rahui. So if numbers are running low, a kaurauhui, a Māori carving, is erected, and it tells the local community that this area is prohibited for harvesting kai, harvesting food, and gathering resources from that area until numbers are back to healthy numbers. In this painting talked to utilising our old methods. Things are important above sea level, below sea level, and the whiteboard talks to thinking outside the square and also utilising the resources and ideas and methods within the box rather than recreating the wheel over again.
I think it's hard for people to understand how decisions that we make now are going to impact our lives and the way that we move and live and play in these areas over such long time frames over the next 100 years. And so I think most importantly for me is trying to help communities understand these issues that we're facing and support them to engage with us so that we can be making those decisions now so that we're better prepared for those impacts and risks in the future.
My main research is on the mesopelagic zone, also called the ocean twilight zone. This is a part of the ocean where the tiniest fraction of sunlight penetrates, so it's very dark. It's generally about 200 to 1,000 meters deep. The research community have realized just in the last 10 or 15 years that there's tons of life living in this part of the ocean. Lots of invertebrates like jellyfish, squid, and there are a lot of fish that live there during the day, deep, and then they swim up at night to feed, and then they swim back down. So because of this, what we call vertical migration, a lot of CO2 that we're emitting is then removed from the atmosphere effectively by them. So we're just kind of starting to learn about that. And because people have also heard there's all these fish in the ocean, they're also being looked at as a commercial fishery. So right now I'm looking at, if a commercial fishery opens, how might that impact global climate?
My second mural was about the mesopelagic zone, which is the twilight zone, and it's where all the cool bioluminescent animals live. My figure is a bioluminescent mermaid, and she's like calling all of them to come with her and escape the deep sea trawling boats.
The mesopelagic zone is kind of an at-risk part of the ocean, but it's also relatively undisturbed right now. So it's really awesome to kind of get this information out now while a lot of people around the world are working on putting some mesopelagic zone protections in. So it's like incredible to see the murals.
Leveraging the power of public art is an incredibly important tool that communities can use to better educate around these pressing ocean environmental issues. A lot of times the science and the data can be difficult to understand, and wrap your head around. But with public art, you're able to come into communities like this in Christchurch, paint large-scale artworks that focus on these issues and translate the science and the data in a way that creates empathy, understanding, and action.
You know, for a lot of people, they've probably never thought about the mesopelagic zone. Maybe they're just going to drive by on the way to work and just see it as like a flash, and maybe some people are going to get more interested.
I find it's a platform that we can share our stories and get those stories into the paintings and the murals. I'm not one for painting murals just for beautification. I like to have a deeper meaning where it makes a connection with the viewer.
For the past decade, PangeaSeed has been utilizing public art as a creative tool to bridge art and science in a way that engages communities around the pressing environmental issues that are impacting our oceans. Since 2014, through our Seawalls Artists for Oceans program, we've created over 550 murals in 23 countries, all focusing on pressing ocean environmental issues, from ocean acidification to coastal development, endangered species, and sea level rise. Public art is an incredible tool to be able to engage communities in ways that create empathy, action, and understanding.
Mural art is more than transformation, it's also communication. It's a way to encourage people to act on the issues that we face as a city, as a community, and you know, as a wider global population. The world is connected by our oceans, right? The reality is that we're a small island nation. All of us are so close to the ocean and so close to the beach, or so close to water. That means that the impact of the change that the oceans are facing is a direct effect on us as a community, as a country, and I think we need to ensure that the world understands that impact, because it will become eventually an existential crisis.
You know, I put so much energy into this mural because I do have a really strong connection with our coast and our ocean. I still respect it, and I want to make sure my peers and everyone else in my community does too. Ecologically, as I say, the sea is massively important. The seas everywhere are being destroyed, and how important that is. And so it's, as I say, the older I get, it's something that I actually feel strong enough to kind of put my voice behind. The oceans are a very kind of important subject to me and my family. So in this painting, I was trying to communicate the kind of interconnectivity of the sea. Even though the theme is acidification, the sea is kind of, even though it looks very warm and friendly, it's actually destroying the shells, and you can see the shell is spinning and showing its backside, which is the skull, you know, clearly representing the death of the sea creatures or the seashells. And so through the animation, I really like to use that as a storytelling opportunity. So even though it's only like a 1 second loop, it's like trying to fit in as much information in that one split second. So I kind of wanted to show that the sea is looping and the shell is looping. It kind of represents a DNA helix as well. So just to kind of show the interconnectivity of, you know, sea and sea life, and that if we're damaging the water, that's damaging the shells, and, you know, in turn damaging us.
Sea Signals brought something different to Ōtautahi. We've got so much street art already here and public art, and this brought more of a narrative that people can speak to and interpret in their own way, but actual real science data translated in a creative way and just injected into the streets, which is not just in the central city, but coastal as well.
Sea Signals has been a really fun festival, not just because we are elevating art in these public spaces, but because we're connecting it to this message of ocean conservation and science and culture, and being in a place like Aotearoa, surrounded by some of the best artists in the world. Elevating such an important message has been just such an honor.
So I was really lucky in that I got to help bring young people to see some of the artists in action, and you know, you could see the response of those young people recognizing that this was artwork that was impressive visually, but it was also artwork with a message, and you could start to see them think about their relationship to the ocean, their relationship to water, their relationship to the environment, and in doing that, the visual impact of the artworks became a portal for them to also think more widely. So that was an immediate manifestation of the power of public art to create these impacts, and to see young people engage in that way was really special, because obviously our decisions now are going to affect them in the coming years, and to create a generation of young people who are willing to stand up and act for our oceans is such an important thing.
It was really awesome working with Chile and Decipher. I talked about the mesopelagic zone research, and then we met back up, and they both had these really incredible sketches. They really understood and turned it into something that was digestible by anyone.
Our research topic was sea level rise and coastal level rise, and then we tied it in with the narrative from the Pacific, and then collided those two to make an artwork about an everyday young Pacific woman going shopping in the city. She's getting veggies and she's underwater, and it just shows the real threat, symbolising handing the earth, I guess, to the next generation and the future that they have coming for them.
The ability of art to stimulate those conversations, people just walking by, seeing a mural, and maybe that sparking a topic of conversation between them and their friends.
What stood out to me this year was the calibre of art that was brought to the streets that everyone was just blown away by. And I think as well the importance of the stories that are being told through the science and the art.
We can use paintings like this to remind us, to get us back to thinking, how can we look after our environment, how can we look after our oceans and our skies and our land, our whenua. Ultimately, I want them to be the stewards of looking after these kaitiaki and looking after these taonga, these gifts that we are given, and to give it to our next generation.